What is up, guys? Welcome back to the Figure Hideout. Today we are checking out the suit-up version of Iron Man Mark 7, and the one I have right here is the special edition. This is the 5th suit-up type of Iron Man that Hot Toys has made in recent years. The biggest highlight is that this one can do the iconic scene from the Avengers, where the Mark 7 assembles mid-air, while Tony was falling from Stark Tower. This figure also has 3 different display modes, and the setup is quite complex. The instruction manual alone is 18 pages long, and as a reviewer, I'll not only show off the figure, but also walk you through each of the assembly steps for the different modes. If you are too lazy to go through the manual, just treat this video as your go-to guide. I am never really interested in the Mark 50 and Mark 85. If we are talking about suits that really gets the adrenaline pumping, it's gotta be the suits before the Infinity War, those with that mechanical, metallic feel. I never thought I would enjoy watching a mid-age guy put on and take off his suit so much. When I first saw that Mark 7 scene in theater, the special effects and the whole suit-up process just blew me away. In that moment, the only thing in my brain could process was like, holy shit. No matter how many times I watch it, I still get goosebumps. Starting with the box, it's about the same size as the suit-up version Mark 5. It came in a square box. The front features a close-up of the chest armor and a smaller official photo, while the backside has a picture of Stark Tower. You can already tell how insane the number of parts is just by looking through the window in the package. Inside the top tray are all the external armor pieces. Under that, on the right, we have got Tony's body, hands, and the wristbands. While on the left, there are the special edition exclusive Stark Tower hologram and the rest of the Iron Man suit. Let's start by checking out all the armor parts. There are about a total of 40 pieces laid right here, which is pretty crazy. The external armor includes pieces from the chest all the way down to the feet. The red and gold paintwork is consistent with the previous versions, still having that matte finish. I don't have my diecast Mark 7 with me for a side-by-side comparison, but I feel like the red on this version is slightly brighter. Additionally, there are some battle damage effects and weatherings in some spots. As for the details on these, the mechanical detailing is the same as the Mark 6 with suit-up gantry, which is very good. There's a clear sense of depth on these structures, and the details are sharp and clear. For the parts that have a lot of holes, Hot Toys made them thicker to make sure they're strong enough. Since this figure can do some simple transformation, a few parts have joints, like the chest armor, shoulder armors, rib armors, and thigh plates. This one is the most complex. You can fold here, and also extend this part to show the inside. Let's take a closer look at the chest armor. It is similar in design to the suit-up version Mark 5, with the chest piece connected to the part of the lower body. One thing to note, this piece does not have any moving parts, so be careful not to break it. The chest and back armor look so good, with very good depth and layers. There are even little serrated details in some areas. The paint job is mostly metallic silver, which looks fine, but I think Hot Toys could improve by adding a bit of gold or other colors to make the details even better. Parts that you can move include the left and right pieces on the chest and the 2 round parts on the hips. The arc reactor can light up with a battery compartment and switch located under this section. All the lights on this figure are powered by button cell batteries. This torso part basically looks like the pot mode of the diecast Mark 7, but things like the scanning device on the back and the feet cannot be detached like the diecast version. Besides the legs and chest having mechanical details, the torso's inside is also well replicated. In my opinion, this looks much better than the open armor version of Mark 7 that has only plain silver paint on a black base. And if there were some lights on this one, that would have made it even cooler. And for this lower body, the legs are connected with ball joints. They can do side kick and backward kick. Next, we have the two different type of armors for the hips. One is red and doesn't have anything too special. And the other one, the armor pieces look folded, although they don't have any real moving joints. Pieces for the ribs are smaller but with denser structures, and these also have great detailing inside and outside. Now onto the forearm armor, which I think is the coolest part. They have multiple joints, with the missile bay cover and another section being movable. You can flip it to open. And these on the side can be opened as well. And there is a little snap when you close it. The appearance of these have a strong mechanical feel, and I love it. These parts for the upper arm also have 5 sections that can open up. Moving to the lower body, there are fewer movable sections. The thigh armors and shoes don't have any moving parts. But the lower leg armors look pretty slick. You can see some of the inner structures through the armors. The knee and the side and this cap behind can all open up. These missiles for the thighs are similar to the die-cast versions. Finally, there are 2 additional little pieces for the back of the thighs. Compared to the suit-up version Mark V, this Mark 7 doesn't have as many tiny parts, so assembling it is much easier and less stressful. The special edition also comes with a hologram display of Stark Tower. Unlike the typical holograms you see in their Star Wars figures, this one is made from hard plastic and has a more vibrant blue tone with pink highlights inside. The whole thing is quite detailed. You can see the word Stark and the landing platform. Now, let's take a look at Tony himself. The most anticipated part of this figure is, of course, the new head sculpt. Nowadays, Hot Toys makes a new head with each Iron Man release. When the new Mark 42 was announced, a lot of collectors were wondering if these two heads are the same because the expressions are similar. This head sculpt is the same as the one shown in the official photos. To be honest, I think the suit-up version Mark V's head sculpt is better. That one had the best likeness of Tony Stark, with the expression and hairstyle spot on. The main issue with this new head sculpt is the expression, which many fans have pointed out already. It's based on Tony's face during the scene where he confronts Loki before got thrown off the building. His mouth is slightly open, and he looks a bit angry. I mean, I can tell this is Tony Stark, but I can't say it looks like Robert Downey Jr. Something is just off, and makes it look weird. I think it's the eyes. They are not as charming as they should. This head sculpt also has rolling eyeballs, and it doesn't come with a neck, so you just adjust it from below. Hot Toys made the teeth separately from the head sculpt, and you can tell from behind. The outfit is pretty simple, a casual look with a long-sleeved shirt underneath a short sleeve. The material is pretty stretchy. The pants are thin and fits pretty well. One thing you might have noticed is that the shirt's design is different from the one in the movie. There's no text, and the logo looks different. Well, that's due to the licensing issues. Just like how Miles Morales' Air Jordan 1 doesn't have the Nike swoosh. The logo on the shirt in the movie was from Black Sabbath 1978 tour. Hot Toys could not use it freely, so they removed the text and changed the logo to avoid copyright issues. Hot Toys reused the muscular body with a built-in reactor from the workshop version. The battery compartment and switch are on the back, and when the lights are on, you can see the reactor glowing through the shirt. The wristbands are pretty straightforward in terms of design and paint. To wear them, you just pop off the hands and slide the wristbands on. This figure comes with a pair of relaxed hands and a pair of open palm hands. The base is the usual one, featuring the arc reactor logo on top, and the nameplate says Tony Stark. The stand includes a shapeable tube with 3 specially designed pieces for supporting the jumping pose. The base is not that big, but is stable enough. Now let's move on to assembling the 3 different modes. If you are still watching and haven't liked the video yet, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Before we start, just a quick note. This figure has a lot of detachable parts, but you shouldn't need to use too much force. If a piece doesn't come off easily, you're probably trying to remove the wrong part, so don't force it. The first mode is the mid-air grab, where the Mark 7 just caught Stark. First, attach the 4 small wings to the back of the Mark 7. Then remove the upper section of these 2 small pieces and attach them to the waist. Insert the rib armors into place. And attach the thigh armors next. All these for the legs are magnetic. Next, remove the chest armor from the straps. Extend all the joints. And attach the outer chest and shoulder armors. Finally, connect the chest armor to the main body, and the Mark 7 part is done. Now, assemble the base by attaching these 3 parts onto the tube in this exact order. And tighten the screws a little bit. And we will use this piece to connect with the Mark 7. We only need the upper half of the bicep armors and forearm armors. Connect them by plugging and attach them to Tony's arms. The magnetic pieces at the root will let you connect them to the body very easily. And this is the first mode. The second mode shows Tony with part of the armor already on. For this mode, you wouldn't need this piece, so you can put it aside. First, keep the chest armor on, and then separate the upper and lower half of the Mark 7. Then install the rib armors carefully, as the connectors are at a tricky angle, so be really cautious when inserting and removing them. Remove these 2 pieces, and replace them with the ones that have silver flare launchers. Take off the shoes and put on the thigh armors and lower leg armors. These for the feet can split into half for easier installation. Attach the outer leg armor to the front, back, and inner side of the thighs. And for the second mode, you want to put these on at the back side first, before covering them with the outer armor. And that looks really sick. And this little piece is for Tony's private spot. It's also magnetic. Now, connect the upper body of the Mark 7 to Tony. Attach the arms. Then install these pieces around the hips. and this is the second mode. Two things to be aware when you do the second mode. One is do not rip off the cloth because these pieces for the ribs are quite sharp. Second is when you attach the clamp, it goes to the ribs as well, and this is pretty tight. Could potentially cause some minor damages, so I recommend you to attach the clamp first and then connect it to the tube. For the third and final mode, first remove all the parts I'm doing right now. Also remove this little part of the forearm armor and put the lower half back on. Split the upper arm armors, remove this piece of magnet, and put them on Tony's arms. Take off the 3 chest armor pieces we attached earlier, and wear it to the body with the back section. Remove these long joints on the shoulder armors, and then connect the shoulder armors to the ball joints here. Attach the silver flares to the hips. Connect these 2 parts on the back. And remove the smaller pieces from the back of the thighs. Attach the leg missiles to the front of the thighs. And that completes the third mode. Overall, this Mark 7 is much easier to work with compared to the suit-up version Mark 5. Plus, since this outfit isn't made of rubber like the Mark 5's racing suit, you won't have to worry about peeling or stickiness over time. Each of these 3 modes looks fantastic, but my personal favorite is the third standing pose. Recently, Hot Toys has really put a lot of effort on these suit-up version Ironmans, and even the upcoming new Mark 42 will have some kind of similar elements. One thing that could be improved is the Tony Stark himself, especially the head sculpt. They made him way too simple from my opinion, and it really doesn't look that good without the armors on. There's definitely still room for improvement in terms of realism and everything. Alright, there you have it, the suit-up version of Iron Man Mark 7 made by Hot Toys. I hope you all have enjoyed the video. If you did, please like and subscribe. Remember, play with the style. I'll see you guys in the next one.